Ever since Darwin, biologists have understood the importance of the tree of life metaphor. In PhyloMeth, we will learn how to infer that tree and how to use it to understand biological processes. PhyloMeth is made possible through a career grant from NSF, as well as ongoing support from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Okay, today let's do a quick intro to how to use RStudio. So you should download R and installed R, download RStudio, installed RStudio, which is a matter of dragging it to your applications folder typically. Okay, so now I've opened it and here's RStudio. Okay, now base R, just core R you download, can do a lot of things, but R is really enhanced by using packages, right? These small bits of software that other folks have written and contributed to the community. Okay, and those are stored in some place called CRAN. And so let's go download some. So first, let's choose where we get it from. So we can go to Preferences, and then Packages, and then where we get them to. So back in the old days, people would, rather than having everyone go to one computer to download everything, there'd be copies of files on different computers, and you choose the copy closest to you. Okay. Now instead of doing that, we have content distribution networks, CDNs. Okay. R still uses typically the older approach of different mirrors, but the best one to use in general is this RStudio one. So we choose that. This is when we want to download a new thing, we can just get it directly from there. Okay. Apply. And there are many packages in phylogenetics in R. And I could install them all one by one, right? I could do install packages ape, for example, and type that, see what happens. It's right now downloading the file, copying the file over. Okay, it's coming in. Might be a slow connection right now. Okay, good. And we don't see an error message, and so no news is good news in this case. I can see if it worked. And see how I'll use it. Library ape. Again, no news is good news. I can then ask for help with ape. And one nice thing about RStudio is it keeps things neatly organized in these panels. Right, so here's information about ape. Okay, and I can, go through all the different functions they have and get help on one. Like for example this one, generate random trees, and I can then try it. Generate a random tree. Okay. Now doing that would be, hard. Doing that package install would be hard to do for every package that's relevant. And unfortunately for us in R, there's things called task views, right? And so if I go to something like Safari and go to CRAN task view, I can look up a whole set of them. Okay, and so these are curated lists of packages in certain areas. So like web technologies will tell us all these packages for downloading things from the web, scraping data off websites, and so forth. And there's one in phylogenetics. And so we can go through and see, how to get trees into R, how to manipulate trees, how to associate reconstruction, and so forth. And at the end are these list of all these packages. Okay. And rather than installing them all one by one, I can just install them from the task view. So I'm going to go back to R and say install packages CTV, CRAN task view. Now downloads, installs. There we go. Okay. And now library, CTV. And that loads the CTV package. I can see what functions it has. Help. And I can choose to do install views. So install views, phylogenetics. and this will find all those packages listed. So here's a question I have. So do I want to install from sources the packages which needs compilation? Okay. So most R code, you load it, and it converts it from human readable code to computer code on the fly. Okay. Other programming languages like C or C++, you for the computer before you actually run the program at all, it does that conversion, but just once, and then saves that compiled code. And so in a lot of our packages, there's some of the C code that needs to be compiled. And so I will compile that once. And then some is only available in source code, source code form, so I'll do that. And now it's downloading and installing. Okay. And this is doing, as you can see, many, many packages that goes through. Now, one problem with these task views is it only gets stuff that's on CRAN. And CRAN's wonderful in many ways. It's curated. Only code that meets R's evolving standards of what's required can be up there. And so you don't have this code rot of stuff that doesn't work anymore, but it's sort of still up there. You have to keep current to keep things on CRAN. And yet, for developers, it's a little bit of a pain sometimes. And so oftentimes developers will instead store code elsewhere, like on GitHub or other sites. And so this procedure installs the stuff on CRAN, but not stuff elsewhere. And for the other stuff elsewhere, you could do install GitHub from DevTools, or you can use Bioconductor. And we'll talk about that in other episodes. In the meantime, let's just keep this running.